Good evening, traders. Locks here with another video update. And today I'm going to talk about uh, an upgrade to the GKD-M indicators. The GKD-M indicator stands for Giga Kaleidoscope Metamorphosis Indicator. And what these indicators do is they're sometimes optimization indicators, but all the time they will have a morphed signal based on some sort of back test or combination principle between either various outside indicators or the indicator itself, such as Fisher transform, compared to Fisher transform itself. And that's what this one is. It's called Fisher transform optimizer. This one won't be released for a long time, but it's the same setup as all of the other GKD-M indicators. So I'm just going to show you how this works so you can understand the principle of what's been added. So the original version of GKD-M had cumulative back testing, and what that meant was from the start of the entire data set, and we have, what do we have, Bitcoin right here? Let's go to cumulative real quick so I can show you. So on cumulative, you'll see the data start date and the actual start date are the same, and that's January 1st, right? And what cumulative would do, you start here, and then you start adding up all of the different backtest data, the win rates for all of these different periods, right? And if we take a look at what that looks like in the data window, you can see this number right here and watch it accumulate over time. We have 0, 1, 2, and this is just the shortest period one, as you can see from the name. And it's accumulating these wins, and these are the longs over time, and it keeps accumulating them, right? Accumulation, accumulation, accumulation until we get to the very end, and it shouldn't match. Well, yeah, it's going to match it exactly. So 95, right? You see the 95 right there? And so it's the cumulative win rate. And what that means is that every single, cross right here or every single paint of this modified Fisher transform, you see this kind of jagged here, that it's going to calculate from the cumulative win rate from all of these different periods and then determine which one is the best one. Just like at the very terminal value here, it's calculating over the whole range. Okay. Whereas right here, it's calculating from the range backwards. From here, it's calculating from the range backwards, the entire range. But sometimes you don't want to do that. Sometimes you want to window the range so that on this candle right here, it's calculating only 365 days back. This candle right here, it's only calculating 365 days back, et cetera, et cetera. So how does that look? So you go into here and you do windowed. We have cumulative and we have windowed. 365 is how many days are in the year for Bitcoin. If you're using something like stocks or a stock index, then it's going to be, well, not all stock indexes, I guess, or maybe so. I'm trying to think of my brain right now. No, it's 252. So with stocks and stock indexes that are not, I don't know. Some of them, I think there are some that are going to be trading kind of on a different time frame than the regular indexes, but that's okay. So, anyways, the point is this: with stocks and their indexes, use 252 for the year. For cryptocurrency, use 365 for the year. So that's a separation there. That's how you get a year worth of data because cryptocurrency is traded 7 days a week, right? All right. So now that that's out of the way, what you're going to want to do, and we'll take a look at this, right? It's at 365. And what we see happen here is the data start date is now backwards 1 year. Okay. So you can see that in the test right here, we want to start from 2018, right? January 1st, 2018. And then we want right here to start the data on January 1st, 2017. So 1 year before, right? Now let's see what 1 year before here is. The problem is we don't have the data for 1 year before, right? If we were to get that data, it would be down here somewhere, right? But we don't have that data for Bitcoin. So what it's going to do instead is it's going to count forward 365 bars before it starts probing because it needs that data to have 365 candles worth of information, right? in order to start churning out backtests. So that's what it's doing right here. So clever. So it's a clever system. It's saying, okay, let's look back and see if we can actually capture all that data. And if we can't, count forward 365 days and then start calculating. Now, what is the date that it starts calculating? August 18th, 2018. That's the earliest it can do it, where there's 365 days of back data, right? So if we look at this counter right here, watch what happens. It doesn't accumulate anymore. It's going to stay around the same sort of number, anywhere from 13 to 20, roughly. And that's about the average days or average longs with this period right here, 365 days backward, right? So every single one of these candles is based just on 365 days back, okay? So this is giving you a totally different distribution of what's going on at this terminal value here than the previous one, right? Which was cumulative. So which one's best for you? I don't know. It's up to you. But you can turn cumulative into just 1 year's worth of data if you want by just restricting the backtest back to 1 year. Or you can window the entire range to produce the metamorphosized signal where each candle is based off of 1 year data back. And maybe you did some calculation to determine that it's best just to use 1 year back on back tests for everything. And so now you don't have to think about it. This thing pumps it out and says, okay, here's the 1 year back test at each candle, right? Now, you're not going to see the exact values of each of these from the backtest perspective on which one is the best. I might add that in the future, probably not anytime soon. But for now, the only thing you'll see is this terminal value right here, based on here 365 days back, because it's windowed, right? You got it right there. So if we put 100, watch what happens so you can see how this thing works. Now we're just at 100 days, right? And now we see it goes back almost to the start, right? We have 100 days there. It's about 136. Did we put 100 exactly? Yeah. So that's fine. It's still going to skip some bars there. Let's actually calculate that exact here and see. Yeah, that's good enough. We'd probably want to, I guess, advance this backwards more. And then we might get the full range. Yeah, there we go. But we don't really care to do that. Yeah, there's the 100 bars. So my bad. I forgot that we started on January 18th or January 1st of 2018. So there you have it. That's how the new backtest system works. Well, not the new backtest system, but the upgrade to the GKD-M metamorphosis indicator. So you have this windowing option, which gives you some interesting results. I actually might add that the best one here for which one is the best one each candle, but I'll have to think about that. If I can come up with a reason of why, then I will add that so it shows up on this list here of which of these periods was the best, so that maybe you could just note that down as you scroll through them or something. But otherwise, this is what you have. It could be also the case that maybe in the future we count how many times each one of these was recorded in the 365-day back test on each candle going forward, like which one hit the most. Because right now this terminal value is just based on this one backwards, and maybe that's not useful for you. Maybe it's more useful to see what is the cumulative values of each one of these based on a 365-day back test backwards on each candle, on a windowed range, right? So I'll have to think about a couple of options like that and maybe add them on in the future. But for now, this will be sent out to the GKD-M uh, Accuracy Alchemist and the Baseline Optimizer. So you should see those updates here shortly. Anyways, that's it for tonight. I will talk to you again soon, folks. Have a good one.